Oregon Trio. Hello once again. It is Matt Bisek, your Executive Director of the Oregon Trio Association, with another update. I know it's been a little while since I've done one of these. We had some busy last month with policy seminar going on in Washington, D.C., and last week with our annual conference for Oregon Trio Association. So it was exciting to see a lot of you in person. Hopefully you all had a wonderful time. Today I'm going to give just some follow-ups and updates on some things that were mentioned in that meeting, and to make sure that those folks who were unable to participate in our business meeting, where a lot of these areas were brought up due to Wi-Fi issues, they weren't able to dial in. So I want to make sure we inform those folks of what is going on and some important dates that are coming up. So I'm going to just quickly cover some of those items. And then we are going to look at some new Oregon Trio Association services that are going to be allowable costs that you can offer. I'm going to give an update on the state funding status and steps that you all can take with the Oregon legislator to help push that through. And then lastly, just touch on some stuff with the last mile scholarship deadlines and a new social media campaign we're going to be rolling out for our students. So with that, let's jump right into it. All right, first and foremost, I want to apologize for everybody who was hoping to call in remotely, who wasn't in person at our conference. But like I said, the Wi-Fi was down. However, the minutes from that annual meeting and all the reports and notes can be found on our website at oregontrio.org. I'm going to put a link in the email that you receive with this so you can view that information and get a summary of all the changes that are taking place. Second, I want to highlight that we are currently have nominations open for some open board positions. Right now we're looking to fill in for districts 2, 4, and 5 based on those federal legislative districts, and as well as that we're looking for a new president-elect. So attached to the email you are going to find a Google form that has a link to either nominate yourself or a coworker of yours or somebody you know for one of those open positions. Now the deadline for nominations to get in are May 19th, with the hope that we can open up the actual formal vote for those open positions while people are still working and they don't go home for the summer or start taking those breaks that we are well deserved. Next, and this is something that we highlighted in our business meeting, but I wanted to acknowledge all of the Dirk's Trio Achiever Award winners. These are scholarships, but the funds go directly to the student to use for whatever it is they need. So I'm going to put up on the screen here who the winners were and the institutions that they are at. So if these were one of your students, congratulations, and thank you so much for encouraging them to apply. One last item related to the conference from last week. I have linked in the email a form to our survey. We would love to get feedback from those of you who are in attendance so we can improve that. Next year we're going to be at Salishan once again for 2024. So your feedback, it would be greatly appreciated as we kind of tweak various things to make it as good of an experience as possible for you during that conference. All right, next I want to touch on the Last Mile Awards for the summer term. So the deadline for this is going to be May 12th. And the summer term is a little different. We don't have quite as much funding. Typically we have about $30,000 per semester to award, but during the summer term it's only about $10,000. So it is a smaller pool of funds, but we tend to see that as a smaller group of students who typically apply. However, that probably means that at least 4 students are going to be given funding. So if you have students who are going to be enrolled in summer term and are trying to finish that degree, please encourage them to apply for the Last Mile Award. The form is live on the website, and I will also link that in the email. Okay, up next, I wanted to go over the Oregon Trio Association service menu. As a board, as an association, we are looking at trying to find ways to generate some extra revenue so that we can support our paid positions. And we are trying to create some stability in our organization, be able to generate enough revenue so that we can staff positions like the executive director separate from any kind of whims of the state legislator and what happens with grant funding. And one of the items for that is to actually offer some services that are allowable costs for you in your grant and your program. I've heard from many directors that a lot of these kind of services are things that they can't necessarily do in-house or would love to hire somebody from the outside to assist with. And many folks have looked at outside companies, third parties to help with these programs. So given the skill set of both myself and folks within Oregon Trio Association, we think that these are services that we can offer at a really high value and that are hopefully needed for your program. So up on the screen here, you are going to see that there are kind of 4 different packages that we are looking to offer. The first is advertising development. This can be anything from rebranding your brochures, what your organization's called on campus, color schemes, font, just kind of the design elements of that. Social media development, helping start or push your social media platforms out there so you can better get in front of students, and developing systems in place to consistently be able to have a good social media account for your TRIO program. And the last piece is actually developing recruiting videos for either students or stakeholders. So this would mean actually filming students, filming staff, developing actual recruitment videos for your program that can be used in efforts to help bring students into the program. So those are all of our advertising development services. And you'll see prices listed on all these, and I do want to note that pricing is listed as negotiable. I want to be realistic in where your budgets are at and understanding what is allowable, allocable, and reasonable, what your business office will allow. Also, understanding that many of you have funds you need to spend down or trying to reduce your carryover. So, we think we've put these at a fair price, but all of these prices can be negotiated. Up next, we have policy and procedure writing. So whether this is building a new document from scratch, doing a full rewrite in a current, myself or somebody from Oregon TRIO Association would work with you and help you write those documents and actually kind of take the lead in developing a policy and procedure manual. Let's say you have one in place and you would love to just have a review. You don't need somebody to help write it for you. There's an option to just do a review with comments about potential changes that you're looking at. Up next is student workshop facilitation. So there are plenty of folks who offer their services to come and present workshops, be a guest speaker for your students for an event. So we can customize based on the topics you're looking to cover and have somebody from OTA come down and present a workshop or facilitate a full day training with your students. And then similarly, we could do stuff with your program or staff, whether this is doing a big picture TRIO overview and onboarding from all things Department of Ed, COE, regional state associations, just really understanding the pulse of TRIO on a larger scale outside of your individual grant. We can do some conversational legs and regs training instead of the typical free stuff that's offered through priority trainings. This is designed to be really catered to your program, your staff, and just to facilitate a conversation. Or just kind of creating solutions for program challenges, depending on what that is. We could come down and provide some training or development for your program, for your staff around the current challenges you are facing. So with all these, I have a form on our website. I'm going to link it in email here. If you are interested in any of these, I invite you to just indicate the areas you are interested in, and I will follow up with you. We can just have a conversation around specifically what your needs are, how we can cater something to address what you are looking for, and additionally have conversations around pricing and what that looks like and timelines and all that stuff. So I'm really excited for this. This creates an amazing opportunity for me to get out and provide real hands-on assistance to your programs, as well as an opportunity to help just diversify our funding sources for Oregon TRIO Association so we can have some more stability for those paid roles. All right, the next thing I just wanted to touch on, this is something I covered at our business meeting at the Professional Development Conference, but the state funding that was tied to initially my position and a lot of the growth we've seen at Oregon TRIO Association. We are currently in the final stages of trying to get a bill passed through the legislature to support continued funding for projects like this. On the listserv, I put out a call to action email that kind of summarized this as succinctly as I could, but right now there's a joint Ways and Means Committee of House and Senate folks who basically determine what the state's budget is spent on. Right now, throughout April, they are traveling the state and hearing feedback from folks within the communities, as well as you're able to submit written testimony in support of various bills or initiatives that you would like to see funded. So right now is an amazing opportunity for all of us on our own personal time. If you think OTA provides value, if you want to see continued funding from the state, this is our time to provide feedback and try to influence our legislator to support Bill 3120-5. There's a specific amendment attached to that bill that would allocate funding for college and access and completion programs to get funds to continue the work that we're doing. So I encourage all of you, I will put some snippets and a summary of this information in the email that you get, but right now is a great opportunity. We have a template of a letter available to you to just submit your support, and if you're able to go to one of these in-person events and testify on behalf of the good that our program is able to do. And this goes beyond just opportunities we can create for students, assistance we can provide to programs, but the big picture really is we hope to increase the number of TRIO programs in Oregon over the long term. So part of that is helping you all function well so you can keep your grants and providing grant writing support. But a lot of what I also do in my free time is find other community partners, work with colleges that don't have TRIO programs, and identify folks there who are decision makers who can give the thumbs up for us to apply for future grant opportunities, because we believe that we could see a significant increase in the number of TRIO programs throughout Oregon over the next 5 years. So these funds would help ensure that we have the staffing and time to be able to invest in those initiatives and ultimately have a remarkable return on investment. Whatever amount the state invests in us currently, we've already seen in these past 2 years, the $500,000 annual investment has already generated over $2 million in new TRIO funding coming into the states with those new TRIO grants. So I think this is a winning model, and we would love to make sure our legislator sees that and provides funding to continue to support these efforts. We also have coming up on April 22nd is a Saturday. It is our Student Leadership Conference. It is a one-day event. We'll be sending kind of final details for the most part. Hopefully everybody who has registered to come and attend has all the details they need. But it's going to be at Chemeketa Community College on Saturday the 22nd. We're excited for an awesome day of events. We have amazing workshops and speakers. We have some legislative folks coming in and their staff to provide some context. We're really excited to just bring all these students together. We'll have a big fun photo booth set up there for the students, so it should be an amazing day. If you have specific questions regarding the Civic Leadership Conference, please reach out, let me know, and I can address those prior to us getting ready to meet up in person next week. The last update I want to provide is that we are going to be starting a social media contest. It's actually going to be on TikTok. Right now we don't really have, this is our launch of trying to get our TikTok account active. The main reason we are doing this is it creates an amazing opportunity for students to directly tell their story or why TRIO works, or an impactful moment they had as being a part of TRIO, and kind of submit this to us, and then that gives us student testimony that you all don't have to record or bait students into giving us or send over to me. It's an opportunity to get student stories out there into the public sphere to help promote TRIO on a larger scale, or specifically in Oregon, obviously, but also just your individual programs, because their peers are the ones who see their social media posts, and this is an amazing opportunity to spread the word about TRIO programs and get students excited to come and apply to be enrolled in your program. So it is called Oregon TRIO Goes Viral. There's going to be instructions and some how-to steps put out over the listserv throughout the month of April. It's going to officially open in May, and we're going to be closing the event on June 9th. So what we are asking is students to submit videos providing their stories, testimonies, how TRIO supported you, kind of the barriers that they've helped you overcome, kind of whatever it is the student wants to talk to. We are going to have $300 gift cards to give out to students who get the most shares, the most views, and then we'll kind of pick a staff favorite based on just creativity or how well they told their story. So there's going to be some prizes out there for students who like social media, want to be active, and are willing to kind of post their stories. So I'm just giving you kind of the general overview right now in this video. There will be more information we'll continue to share throughout April, and if you have any questions about specifics, feel free to reach out to myself or Jordan, who's helping me with these. And for the most part, we just need you all to spread the word out to your students and make sure that they know there's an opportunity to win some money. All right, with that, that's all that I have for you today. I know this was pretty heavy in the funding aspects and those services, so I appreciate you sticking out for the whole video, and I definitely want to hear from you all if there are any other needs that you have, and I look forward to hearing from many of you, hopefully regarding those services. Again, feel free to reach out to me or just fill out that form if you have specific questions. But with that, as always, it's such a pleasure to serve you all in this role, and I will talk to you soon. Take care.